Ethan Cole always chased views, not normal views either. He wanted the kind of viral content that made people argue in comment sections at 3 a.m. Ghost videos, cursed places, real paranormal footage. Most of it was fake, and Ethan knew that better than anyone, because half his channel was staged, but his audience didn't care. As long as it looked real, they clicked. And tonight's video, this was supposed to be the biggest one yet. A haunted school abandoned outside a small town in Pennsylvania, St. Mary's Academy, closed since 1998. Rumors said students disappeared there, teachers too. Some people claimed the school shut down after a fire. Others said something happened in the basement. Either way, nobody went near it anymore, which obviously made Ethan want to film there even more. Rain tapped softly against the windshield as Ethan parked beside the rusted school gates. The building looked massive in the dark. Broken windows, collapsed roof sections, tall black shape against the stormy sky. Perfect YouTube material. Ethan grinned while grabbing his camera. Oh yeah, this thumbnail's gonna go crazy. In the passenger seat, his cameraman Dylan looked way less excited. Bro, I still think this place feels cursed. Ethan laughed. That's literally the point. Dylan looked toward the school nervously. Nah, seriously, look at it. Lightning flashed overhead. For 1 second the entire school lit up bright white, and Ethan saw someone standing in a second-floor window. A child, watching them. Then darkness again. Ethan froze briefly. You saw that? Dylan immediately sat upright. Saw what? Ethan looked again. Nothing there. Just broken glass and darkness. He forced a laugh. Nothing. But his stomach tightened slightly. Then Ashley climbed out of the back seat holding extra camera batteries. You guys coming or what? Ashley handled editing for the channel. And unlike Ethan, she actually believed in paranormal stuff, which honestly made her reactions great for videos. Ethan grabbed the flashlight and camera rig. All right guys, tonight we're exploring the most haunted school in Pennsylvania. Dylan muttered quietly. I'm probably dying in it. Nobody laughed. The front gate squealed loudly as they pushed through. The school courtyard was covered in weeds and broken statues. Rainwater dripped from rusted playground equipment nearby. And the silence. Way too quiet. No insects. No birds. Nothing. Even the rain somehow sounded distant here. Ashley looked around nervously. Why does it feel like nobody's been here for years? Dylan pointed toward the building. Because nobody has. The front doors were already slightly open. That immediately felt wrong. Ethan frowned. I thought this place was sealed off. Ashley whispered. Maybe somebody else comes here. Lightning flashed again. And for 1 second, they all saw muddy footprints leading inside the school. Fresh footprints. Dylan stopped instantly. Nope. Ethan zoomed the camera in closer. The footprints looked small, child-sized. Ashley hugged herself nervously. You think squatters live here? Then from somewhere deep inside the school, a bell rang, loud. Old school bell echoing through empty hallways. Everyone froze. Dylan whispered, Tell me that was wind. Ethan stared at the dark entrance. The bell rang again, then stopped abruptly. Silence returned. Ashley looked genuinely scared now. We should leave. Ethan looked at the camera, then at the school. And honestly, the fear made this even better for content. This is perfect, he whispered. Dylan stared at him like he was insane. Bro, did you not hear that? Ethan stepped toward the doors anyway. Let's film. The hallway inside smelled like mold and wet wood. Lockers lined both walls endlessly. Most hung open slightly, like somebody left in a hurry years ago. Their flashlight beams swept across old posters and rotten classroom doors. Then Ashley suddenly stopped walking. Guys. Ethan turned. Ashley pointed toward the dusty hallway floor. More footprints. Fresh. Wet. And they continued deeper into the school. Dylan whispered, Someone's in here with us. Then, one locker door slammed shut by itself. Bang. Everyone jumped. Another locker slammed. Then another. Bang. 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 One by one lockers began slamming all down the hallway. Like something invisible was moving past them, fast, toward the darkness ahead. Ashley grabbed Ethan's arm tightly. We need to go. Then the hallway lights flickered. Once, twice, and at the very end of the corridor, a little girl appeared, standing perfectly still, wearing an old school uniform, head lowered, hair covering her face. Dylan whispered shakily, "Oh hell no." Ethan slowly lifted the camera toward her. The little girl raised one hand slowly and pointed directly at him. Then every light in the hallway shut off instantly. Darkness swallowed the school, and somewhere nearby, a child started laughing. The laughter echoed through the hallway. Close, way too close. Not normal laughter either. It sounded wet somehow, like somebody laughing underwater. Ethan swung the flashlight wildly through the darkness. Hello. No answer. Only giggling moving somewhere between the lockers. Ashley grabbed Dylan's hoodie tightly. I hate this place. Then the emergency lights flickered on overhead. Dim red lighting flooded the hallway. Everything looked worse now. The little girl at the end of the corridor was gone. Dylan whispered, "Tell me you got that on camera." Ethan checked the screen quickly. His stomach dropped. The footage showed the hallway clearly, but no little girl. Only the three of them standing there alone. Ashley saw it too. No. Then the camera glitched violently. Static flashed across the screen for a half a second, and suddenly, a face appeared behind Ethan, pale, smiling, huge black eyes. Ethan spun around instantly. Nothing there. Dylan backed away nervously. "Bro, I'm serious. We need to leave." Then the school bell rang again. Louder this time. Breathing. The sound echoed through every hallway like the building itself was screaming. And immediately after, footsteps. Children running upstairs. Dozens of them. Fast. Ethan slowly looked upward. The ceiling creaked above them. Ashley whispered, "There shouldn't be anybody here." Then a classroom door beside them slowly opened by itself. Creak. Inside. Lights flickered softly. Ethan aimed the flashlight carefully. Old desks sat untouched beneath layers of dust, except for one thing. A single notebook lay open on the teacher's desk, fresh, clean, like somebody had just placed it there. Dylan shook his head immediately. "No man, don't go in there. Too late." Ethan already stepped inside filming. "This is insane." Ashley reluctantly followed, while Dylan stayed near the doorway nervously watching the hallway. The notebook pages were filled with names. Hundreds of names written over and over. Same handwriting. Same sentence beside every name. He stayed after the bell. Ethan frowned. "What the hell does that mean?" Ashley suddenly pointed toward the chalkboard slowly. "Guys." Words were appearing by themselves, like invisible fingers writing across the board. Scratch, scratch, scratch. White chalk dragged slowly over black surface. The sentence finished. "You shouldn't have come back." Dylan immediately stepped backward. "Nope." Then every desk inside the classroom moved slightly. Just an inch. But enough. Ashley whispered shakily, Did you see that?" All the desks suddenly turned toward Ethan together. Screech. The room temperature dropped instantly. Their breath became visible. Then the classroom door slammed shut behind them. Bang. Dylan rushed to it immediately. It stuck. Ethan tried helping him. The door wouldn't move. Then came the sound. Children whispering. Soft at first, then louder. Coming from beneath the desks. Ashley looked down slowly. Small fingers curled around the desk edges underneath. Dozens of tiny pale fingers. Ethan stepped backward fast. What the? Children crawled out from under the desks. Slowly. Their bodies looked wrong. School uniforms burned black in places. Skin pale grey. Eyes completely dark. And every single one smiling. Ashley screamed. The ghost children stood silently around the classroom, watching them. Not attacking. Just staring. One little boy tilted his head unnaturally. "You filmed us." Ethan's breathing became shaky. "Who are you?" The little boy smiled wider. "We stayed after school." Then all the ghost children looked toward the back corner of the classroom at once. Fear suddenly replaced their smiles. Actual fear. Dylan noticed instantly. "Why they looking over there?" Something moved in the darkness behind the teacher's desk, tall to tall. A figure slowly stood up from the shadows, wearing old teacher clothes, its neck bent sideways unnaturally, and hanging from one hand, a rusted school bell. Ashley whispered in horror, "Oh my God." The teacher smiled, then rang the bell once. Burialing. Every ghost child in the room suddenly screamed at the same time, and the classroom walls started bleeding. Blood ran slowly down the classroom walls, thick, dark, dripping onto the floor beneath the ghost children. Ashley backed into a desk, shaking violently. "This isn't real. This isn't real." The teacher stood motionless near the chalkboard, smiling at them. Its neck hung sideways like it had been snapped, and every few seconds, crack, its head twitched farther. The rusted school bell dangled from its hand, dripping black liquid. Ethan forced himself to keep filming, despite his hands trembling. "This is insane." The teacher suddenly looked directly at the camera. Its smile widened instantly. Then the camera screen glitched. Static flashed violently, and for half a second, Ethan saw something horrifying on the screen. Not a classroom, a fire. Children screaming, smoke filling hallways, people pounding on locked doors. Then normal footage returned. Ethan stepped backward, breathing hard. What was that? The little ghost boy slowly pointed toward the teacher. He locked the doors. Silence filled the room. Ashley stared at the teacher in horror. "You killed them." The teacher rang the bell again. Breathing. Every ghost child immediately covered their ears, screaming. The lights exploded overhead. Glass rained down across the classroom. And suddenly, the teacher moved. Fast. Way too fast. 1 second, it stood near the chalkboard. The next, it was inches from Ethan's face. Its skin looked burned up close, melted. And its eyes, completely hollow. The teacher whispered in a broken, raspy voice, "You stayed after the bell." Ethan screamed and shoved it backward hard. The creature crashed into desks, while the ghost children scattered in panic. Dylan finally kicked the classroom door open. "Run." All three sprinted into the hallway instantly. Behind them, the teacher's bell echoed again. Burialing. The entire school reacted. Locker doors slammed wildly. Classroom lights flickered, and footsteps exploded through the hallways above them. Hundreds of running feet. Ashley cried while running. "Where are we going?" Ethan looked around desperately. The hallway looked different now. Longer, much longer. Doors stretched endlessly into darkness. Some classroom windows now showed impossible things inside. One room contained students sitting silently at desks staring at the wall. Another showed burned children standing motionless. Another showed Ethan and his friends running through the hallway from above. Dylan saw it too. "Bro, this school is messed up." Then the fire alarm suddenly activated. Loud sirens screamed through the building. Red emergency lights spun overhead, and water began spraying from broken sprinklers. But it wasn't water. Dark liquid poured from the ceiling instead. Ashley looked at her hands in horror. Blood. The sprinklers were raining blood. Then the loudspeaker crackled alive. Static hissed through the school. A woman's voice finally came through. Calm. Cold. "Attention students." The hallway lights flickered again. "Detention has begun." Every classroom door slowly opened at once. Creak. Burned students stepped into the hallway together. Dozens of them. School uniforms blackened by fire. Skin hanging loose, smiling. Ashley screamed instantly. The burned students began walking toward them slowly. Not rushing, just calmly surrounding the hallway. Ethan backed away, breathing hard. What happened in this school? Then the loudspeaker answered him directly. "The fire started in the basement." Silence. Dylan whispered, "How the hell is this speaker talking to us?" The voice continued, but the doors remained locked. The teacher suddenly appeared at the far end of the hallway again, bell in hand, watching. The burned students immediately stopped moving when they saw him, like they were scared. Ashley noticed it too. They're afraid of him. Then one burned girl suddenly grabbed Ethan's arm tightly. Her skin felt ice cold. She whispered urgently, "He's looking for the tapes." Ethan frowned. "What tapes?" The burned girl slowly pointed downstairs. To prove what he did. The teacher's smile disappeared instantly. For the first time, it looked angry. Then it rang the bell violently, burialing. Every burned student in the hallway screamed horribly. The walls cracked, lockers dented inward, and the teacher pointed directly at Ethan. All the burned students suddenly turned toward him together, smiling again. The loudspeaker crackled one final sentence. Detention ends at midnight. Then every hallway light shut off, and something huge started moving beneath the school floor. The floor beneath them moved again, not shaking, moving, like something massive crawled underneath the school foundation. Thump, thump, thump. The burned students slowly surrounded Ethan, Ashley, and Dylan in the dark hallway, while red emergency lights spun across their melted faces. The teacher stood at the far end, ringing the rusted bell softly, braying. Every ring made the walls pulse slightly, like the school itself obeyed him. Ashley whispered through tears, "We're trapped." Then the burned girl grabbed Ethan's sleeve again. "You have to reach the basement before midnight." Ethan stared at her. "Why?" The girl's burned face twitched painfully. "The tapes show the truth." The teacher suddenly screamed. Not human screaming. Something deeper. Ancient. Every burned student immediately stepped back in fear. Then the teacher charged down the hallway toward them unnaturally fast. Dylan shouted, "Run!" All three bolted through the corridors, while the burned students scattered out of the way. Behind them, the bell kept ringing. Closer, 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 barreling. The hallways no longer looked normal. Walls stretched longer than before. Ceilings bent downward strangely. Lockers bulged outward slightly, like faces were trapped inside trying to escape. Ashley cried while running, "This place is alive." Then Ethan noticed signs hanging above classroom doors, changing by themselves. Science lab turned into detention then. Stay forever then. He's watching Dylan nearly slipped in the blood-covered hallway. "Bro, where's the basement?" Before Ethan could answer, a classroom door beside them exploded outward. BOOM. A student crawled out, except it wasn't fully human anymore. Its body looked fused with melted desk wood and burned metal chairs. Its jaw hung loose, while black smoke leaked from its mouth. Then more things crawled out behind it. Students twisted together into impossible shapes. Ashley screamed, "Oh my God." The creatures began dragging themselves toward them across the floor. Fast, way too fast. Ethan spotted a stairwell sign ahead. Basement there. All three rushed through the door and slammed it shut behind them. Immediately silence. No bells. No screaming. Nothing. Only darkness below. The basement stairs descended forever into blackness. Water dripped somewhere far beneath them. Ashley whispered shakily, "Why is it so quiet now?" Dylan aimed the flashlight downward and froze. The walls beside the stairs were covered in handprints. Hundreds of them. Small handprints. Children's handprints burned into concrete. Then Ethan noticed something worse. Words scratched into the walls repeatedly. "He locked us in, he locked us in, he locked us in." Ashley looked sick. The fire. Ethan finally understood. The teacher trapped the students downstairs during the fire. Then the loudspeaker crackled again softly overhead. "Principal Carter requests all students remain calm during the emergency." The voice sounded distorted now. Mocking. Dylan whispered. That teacher was the principal. Then, knock. A sound came from below the stairs. Soft knocking. 3 slow knocks. Knock, knock, knock. Ashley grabbed Ethan instantly. What was that? Nobody answered. Then came a child's voice from the darkness below. "Please let us out." Ethan's flashlight shook slightly. The basement hallway finally came into view. Old storage rooms lined both sides, most doors blackened by fire damage. And at the very end, a giant metal door stood slightly open. Emergency archive room, the tapes. Ethan stepped forward slowly. Then every basement light suddenly turned on at once. Bright white, and all three froze. The hallway was filled with children. Dozens of burned ghost children standing silently along the walls staring at them. Not smiling anymore, just watching. One little girl pointed behind Ethan slowly. He turned. Principal Carter stood at the top of the basement stairs. Bell hanging from one hand. Smoke pouring from his burned mouth. His hollow eyes locked onto Ethan. Then he whispered, "No one leaves detention." The basement door above slammed shut violently. BOOM. Locking them underground. And somewhere deeper inside the basement, something massive growled. The growl echoed through the basement walls. Deep. Heavy. Not human. The burned ghost children slowly backed away from the hallway like they were terrified of whatever made that sound. Principal Carter stood at the top of the stairs smiling down at them while smoke poured from his mouth. No one leaves detention. Then the emergency lights shut off again. Darkness swallowed the basement. Only Ethan's flashlight remained. And somewhere in the dark, something started crawling. Scrod up. Metal drags slowly across concrete. Ashley whispered through tears. "What is that?" The little burned girl from earlier appeared beside Ethan suddenly. "Don't let him ring the bell again." Ethan frowned. "Why?" Her expression twisted painfully. "Because it wakes the basement. Too late." Principal Carter slowly lifted the rusted bell and rang it. Breathing, the entire basement shook violently. Storage room doors burst open all down the hallway, and black smoke flooded out from inside them. Then the crawling sound stopped. Silence. A horrible silence. Dylan whispered. Why'd it stop? Then Ethan's flashlight hit the ceiling, and he almost dropped the camera. Something enormous clung upside down above them. A giant burned body fused with pipes, wires, desks, and melted flesh. Dozens of student faces stuck inside its body, moving, whispering, crying. Ashley screamed instantly. The creature dropped from the ceiling. Boom. Concrete cracked beneath its weight. Principal Carter smiled proudly. The perfect student. The monster charged. Fast. Way too fast for something that huge. Ethan grabbed Ashley and dove aside, while the creature smashed through basement lockers like paper. Dylan shouted. The archive room. At the end of the hallway. The giant metal door. All three sprinted toward it, while the basement creature tore through walls behind them. The ghost children scattered screaming. Principal Carter walked calmly after them, ringing the bell softly. Braying, braying. Each ring made the monster faster. Ethan slammed into the archive room door hard. Locked. No nitrogen monoxide, nitrogen monoxide. Ashley spotted keys hanging from a nearby security board. I got IT. The monster's giant arm smashed through the hallway ceiling behind them. Student faces inside its flesh screamed silently. Dylan fired a broken pipe at it desperately. Worthless. The creature grabbed Dylan instantly. Guys. Ethan grabbed Dylan's arm, while Ashley unlocked the door shakily. Principal Carter kept walking toward them, smiling wider. You stayed after the bell. The monster slowly pulled Dylan upward toward its chest, where melted student faces moved hungrily inside burning flesh. Dylan screamed in terror. Ethan pulled harder desperately. Ashley finally unlocked the archive room. Ethan. Principal Carter raised the bell again. Then suddenly, all the ghost children rushed him at once. Dozens of burned students grabbed Principal Carter, screaming violently. The bell fell from his hand. Crash. For the first time, the principal looked afraid. The ghost children dragged him backward down the hallway, while he screamed in rage. You belong to me. The basement creature froze instantly without the bell. Its body twitched violently. Then Ethan pulled Dylan free. Move. All three rushed inside the archive room and slammed the giant metal door shut. Silence. Only their breathing. Rows of dusty VHS tapes filled the room floor to ceiling. Ashley looked around in disbelief. Oh my God. Every tape had dates written on them. Years. Decades. Missing students. Security footage. Detention recordings. Then Ethan found one tape sitting alone on the desk. Label. Fire Night. Do not watch, Dylan whispered. That's it. The room TV suddenly turned on by itself. Static filled the screen. Then, the tape started playing automatically. Old security footage appeared. St. Mary's basement. Students trapped behind locked doors screaming, while smoke filled the halls. Teachers trying to escape. Then the camera showed Principal Carter, calmly locking the exits himself. Ashley covered her mouth in horror. He killed them. Then the footage glitched, and the camera captured something else. Something in the basement fire. A massive dark shape moving through the flames beneath the school. Watching the students burn, Ethan froze. That thing was always here. Then the TV screen suddenly changed. Now it showed live footage. The three of them standing inside the archive room, being watched from above. Ashley looked up slowly. A camera hung in the corner, still recording. Then a child's voice whispered, through the room speakers. Detention ends now. The archive room door slowly began opening by itself, and behind it, something smiled in the darkness. The archive room door creaked open slowly. Darkness waited outside. Not empty darkness, moving darkness. Ethan backed away from the entrance. While gripping the camera tightly, Ashley whispered, "Close it. Close it." Dylan shoved against the metal door hard. It wouldn't move, like something outside held it open. Then footsteps. Slow. Wet. Coming down the hallway. Principal Carter stepped into view first, but something was wrong. Now. Very wrong. The burned ghost children still clung to him, arms wrapped around his body. Faces fused into his skin. Their mouths silently screaming from inside him. And his smile. God. It stretched wider than humanly possible now. The basement creature crawled behind him across the ceiling, slowly. Watching. Waiting. Principal Carter's voice sounded layered now, like dozens of people speaking together. Detention is over. The TV screen behind Ethan suddenly exploded with static. Then new footage appeared. Live footage again. Except now it showed Ethan standing alone inside the archive room. No Ashley. No Dylan. Just him. Ethan slowly looked beside him. Ashley and Dylan were still there. But on the TV, gone. Ashley noticed too. What the hell? Then the TV. Ethan slowly turned toward the camera and smiled. Not normal Ethan. That same horrible smile. Dylan whispered, "Turn that thing off." The TV version of Ethan suddenly spoke. "You uploaded us." Silence hit the room hard. Then Ethan realized something horrifying. The footage. The videos. Every haunted video he uploaded, people watched them. Millions of people. And somehow that let this thing spread. The TV glitched again. Now comments flooded across the screen rapidly. Is this real? Bro, I'm watching this at 3 a.m. The shadow moved part to please a smiling TV. Ethan whispered. Every view opened the door wider. Ashley stepped backward slowly. No. Principal Carter entered the archive room fully now. The ghost children inside his body kept twitching violently. "You brought the school back." The walls began shaking. All the VHS tapes suddenly fell from shelves at once. Crash. Crash. And every television inside the archive room turned on simultaneously. Each screen showed different people watching Ethan's videos at home. Phones. Laptops. Bedrooms. Dark living rooms. Millions of viewers. Then one by one those viewers started smiling to. Dylan whispered in horror. It's spreading through the videos. The basement creature dropped from the ceiling behind Principal Carter. Its giant body blocked the exit completely. Student faces inside its flesh all turned toward Ethan. "Together. You filmed us," they whispered. Ashley grabbed Ethan desperately. "We have to destroy the tapes." Ethan looked around quickly. Old electrical wires run along the archive room walls. Sparking. An idea hit him instantly. Fire. Ashley stared at him. "What? The school burned before." Dylan understood. Immediately. "We burn everything." Principal Carter smiled. Vanished. For the first time he looked scared. No. The ghost children inside him began screaming louder. Ethan grabbed a broken electrical cable hanging from the wall. Sparks exploded everywhere. The archive room lights flickered violently. Ashley started ripping tape boxes apart while Dylan smashed old monitors. Principal Carter lunged forward instantly. "Stop." Too late. Ethan jammed the live wire into a leaking pipe beside the tape. Shells. Boo. Sparks erupted across the room. Flames exploded through stacks of VHS tapes instantly. The fire spread unnaturally fast. Every TV screen began glitching violently. The smiling viewers disappeared. The basement creature screamed. A horrible, deafening scream made from hundreds of student voices together. The school shook violently around them. Walls cracked open. Smoke filled the archive room fast. Ashley coughed hard. We need to go. But Principal Carter blocked the exit. Burning now. Melting. The ghost children trapped inside his body clawed outward desperately. You can't leave, he whispered. Then suddenly the ghost children ripped themselves free from him. Dozens of burned spirits burst from Carter's body. Screaming, the principal collapsed backward in terror. And for the first time his smile disappeared completely. The little ghost girl stepped forward from the flames and softly whispered, "School's over." Then every ghost child dragged Principal Carter screaming into the darkness beyond the hallway. Gone. The basement creature began collapsing apart without him. Its fused bodies tearing loose one by one. The school itself started dying. Ceilings crashed down. Hallways collapsed. Fire spread everywhere. Ethan, Ashley, and Dylan sprinted through the burning corridors desperately. Smoke swallowed everything. The front doors finally appeared ahead through the flames. Go, go, go. All three burst outside into the stormy night. Just as St. Mary's Academy collapsed behind them, the entire building folded inward violently. Fire exploded through broken windows while the bell tower crashed through the roof. Then silence. Rain slowly extinguished the flames. Ashley dropped to her knees crying. Dylan stared at the burning ruins breathing hard. Ethan looked down at the camera still clutched in his hands. The recording light was still on, still filming. Then the screen glitched one final time, and for half a second the little ghost girl appeared smiling behind Ethan. This time, not scary. Free. Then the camera shut off completely. 3 days later, Ethan uploaded the footage. It became the biggest horror video on YouTube. Over 40 million views in 1 week. But near the end of the video, viewers started noticing something strange. In the background of the burning school, a tall smiling figure could still be seen standing inside a second-floor window. Watching. Waiting. And under the video, new comments kept appearing from accounts that didn't exist. We stayed after the bell